were more numerous than his votes. So many aspects of this were simply unbelievable. They were amateurish, and that again points to, I think reinforces my own conviction that this was a last-minute decision. This green wave came very late, it had a colour, it was massive. Zahra Ranavad, Musavi's wife, was going around rallies saying, "Hello, freedom." I saw her opening rallies with those two words. And the Revolutionary Guards, you know, they're heavily indoctrinated on what revolutions look like. And I think it was a huge opportunity missed. I mean, Musavi is a man of the Islamic Republic. I mean, if ever there was an opportunity for the Islamic Republic to evolve, to change, to do, if you like, a China option in 1972, I mean, keep the system, but open to the world, I think Musavi offered a very, potentially very credible avenue in that direction. Well, let's move forward to Thursday, June 18th, so now 6 days after the election. I was in Ferdowsi Square. The heat was absolutely overwhelming. I remember the heat was so strong, it was coming up through my shoes, and the bottoms of my feet were burning. And we were massing in front of the telecommunications ministry. And it's interesting, you know, Nokia sold the latest technology. You would know about all this at Caltech, but they sold all the latest technologies they ran in. So, you know, my cell phone, for example, it would work, and then if I got within 3 miles of any kind of activity, everything would go down. And they can just, you know, they can have this aisle, you know, with cell phones working, you guys in the middle with all your cell phones locked down, or, and then, you know, they can, it's quite scary in a way. And, you know, there was still this effervescence in the street. There were, I wrote a column called City of Whispers. Because there was no communication, people were just saying, tomorrow Valiasa, tomorrow Ferdowsi, tomorrow Azadi Square. And through word of mouth, the word was just getting around to everyone, where to go the next day. And a little kid of 4 came up to me, I remember at that demonstration, and said, Ahmadi bye-bye. Ahmadinejad bye-bye. And Ahmadi bye-bye. And this was a sound you heard around the city, even from little kids. And I remember walking with a doctor there, and she said, "This will not stop, we're going to the end this time." Another woman said that Ahmadinejad was the man with the black halo. And I remember I saw a banner, "We're Iranians, do not lie to us." And a young man came up to me and he said, "Where are you from?" I said, "I'm from the United States." And he said, "Tell your people, freedom is coming to Ferdowsi Square." And soon after that, Musavi appeared, I mean, where you are, sir, 4 feet away from me with Zahra Ranavad on the back of this little pickup truck. And she was wearing a floral hijab, and the crowd just went crazy. I mean, it was Mir Hussein, Allahu Akbar, Mir Hussein, Mir Hussein. And it was, and I thought, well, what's he going to do? What's he going to say? What's going to happen? And, you know, he waved a bit like this. And he was on his way. And, you know, Musavi has shown courage. But I have to say that at the breach, because I do think, as I said in that week, everything hung in the balance. I think at the breach, like Hatami before him, he didn't quite rise to the expectations of the Iranian people. He could have forced the issue. I mean, he was in this limbo under, nobody knows exactly, but he was under some kind of virtual house arrest. Presumably he'd been allowed out, but on condition that he say nothing. But if he forced the issue, either the issue would have been forced and something would have changed, or he would presumably have obliged the authorities to imprison him, and imprisoning him would in turn have been galvanizing. So, I don't know. I have to say that I feel he teetered on the brink of something, but did not step up at the very critical moment. Yeah, he didn't stand and fall with his people right then and there. Well, we now know that freedom did not come to Ferdowsi Square. the uprising went beneath the surface. It wasn't crushed, that's the wrong word. I mean, look at what happened today in the, I mean, now all the demonstrations happen when there's some official celebration going on. And today, November 4, there were again clashes in the street, and in the blogosphere, online, all kinds of ways, in the diaspora. The Iran of June 13 is no longer the Iran of June 12. The Iran of today is no longer the Iran of before then. The Iranian diaspora of November 4 is not the Iranian diaspora of June 11. Things have changed. They've changed, I think, quite radically. For a start, the image of Iran has been transformed. You didn't have Joan Baez and Madonna singing songs for Iranians on June 11. The mullah has ceded place in the American imagination to a living, breathing, questing society, the one that I saw in February. That's important. In the past, bombing Iran meant what? It was bombing an abstraction. Well, that abstraction has given way to a living, breathing, youthful, many-faceted society. A second change is this. A lot of Iranians have moved from reluctant acquiescence to a more confrontational stance. They're angry, and their reformist hopes have been trampled, at least for now. I told you earlier about the cautious psychology of many young Iranians, and I believe that's still there. But they believe that as they grow older, with time, with the elections they got every 4 years, they could nudge things, change things, not as completely as they might wish, but enough, maybe. Now, they doubt that. They've moved into a more confrontational stance, and I'm talking not about tens of people, hundreds of people, thousands of people. I think I'm talking about millions of people. They have shifted in their minds, and that is significant. A third change is that the supreme leader, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, has lost his aura. From a divine arbiter, the Velayat Faqih, the keystone of the arch, he's moved to the trenches. Where exactly is not clear, but clearly somewhere alongside President Ahmadinejad, and somewhere in the company of controlling or controlled by the Revolutionary Guards. The mystique of the Velayat Faqih, which is the very key, as I said, of Ayatollah Khomeini's revolution, the very central element, that's no more. And that weakens the structure of the Islamic Republic. Because if you remove the keystone, you have a weaker structure. And the fourth change is that the extent of its internal division has been revealed. Among politicians, you have very vigorous opposition, say from Ali Larijani, the Speaker of the Majlis, from Halibaf, whom I mentioned, the Mayor of Tehran, from Rafsanjani, of course, not only in the political establishment, in the religious establishment, and of course, it's harder to see into the military establishment. But they can't be happy. I mean, there must be lots of people. This has been a bit of a farce. I mean, this has been an appalling farce, but it has had elements that must be unacceptable, I think, to many within all aspects of the establishment within Iran. And many of those divisions have come to the surface in ways that we've never seen before. So whatever else he is, Ahmadinejad is today, I think, the most divisive figure in the history of the Islamic Republic. Okay, Friday, June 19th. We're now a week from the election. And I am increasingly alarmed because most people